Hey everybody, Anish Majumdar here, career coach to the fiercely ambitious, and today's video is all about the number one excuse that people make to not move forward in their careers, to not land a better job. And it is simply this: I do not have enough time. I cannot tell you the number of times everyone from C-suite executives on down have told me, Anish, I would love to work with you, but I don't have enough time. I would love to improve my resume or transform how I use LinkedIn or focus up and come into that interview room with a game plan and a strategy and execute that. I want to put in the work to do that. I know that that's the best thing to do, but I just don't have enough time. And I get that. I have 2 kids at home and, a busy life outside of work. And I always feel that what I can do during the course of one day is not enough. I always feel that the number of tasks that I have to do is always going to outpace my ability to do them. And I get that. And I know how frustrating that is. And I know that when you have a boss or when you have a project and you feel like you're being run ragged, then when you get home, you maybe just want to spend some time with your family, or you just want to spend time relaxing. And here's the thing. Unlike so many people out there, I am not going to use this video as a reason to berate you or as a reason to say, hey, just buck up. Find those extra hours, make it happen, plug through. If you have to work at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning on your job search, do it. I've had to do that in periods of my life. And then as I got older and I had a family, I started looking for smarter ways to do that. And there are smarter ways. You could be in a car that's a gigantic gas guzzler that burns through gallon after gallon of gas and get to a destination just as easily as you can in a small vehicle that has a smaller engine, smaller gas tank, but uses that fuel more efficiently. Both people are still going to reach that destination. So I want to show you how you can do this, how you can answer this question and really find the time to do whatever it is that you want to do in your career, to really make this happen right now, instantly, and make that a part of your life. I'm going to share with you the strategy that I myself use. Here's what I want you to think about. Take a sheet of paper, and I want you to start writing down everything that you do over the course of a typical week. Every action that you take at work, every action that you take at home, every chore, everything that you want to do, everything that you don't want to do, every single thing, okay? Just make a list, all right? Just write it down, no judgment, write it down. And now that you have this list, I want you to start chunking them in this following way. First, I want you to ask yourself, out of everything that I do here, what are the tasks that are going to give me 5 to 10 times a value add for doing it? Here's what I mean. If I shave my face, there is 0 value add there. It's a 1-to-1 thing. I'm going to shave it. I'm going to look like this, which I hope is roughly presentable. But I got to do it tomorrow. There's no side benefit. There's no multiplication factor in that action because it is a 1-to-1 thing, right? However, if I make a transformative headway in my business, right? Like if I take the time to create an entirely new program or learning system, if I come up with a whole new service or a new way of dealing with people or a new talk or lecture, that is more than just the immediate benefit, right? I might be doing that because I need to drum up, I need to make money, or I need to expand my reach, or I have one immediate goal in mind. But those types of things, when you create an asset, a professional asset, that pays off multiple times over. Same thing, by the way, for a resume. The reason your resume needs to be tight and perfect is because it's an asset that's going to help you now if you're looking for a job, but also years down the line in terms of new opportunities, increased branding, a core idea of who you are in the marketplace. These are multiplication factors for that action. So you have this list, right, of everything that you do. I want you to start circling all of the most valuable multiplier actions that you have. The stuff that for every minute that you spend doing that, you're getting 5 times as much. And they can be career, they can be personal as well. For me, going mountain biking, That's a multiplication factor action because it's not only giving me physical exercise, it resets my mind. It allows me to be more even-keeled emotionally. It allows me to be more present in terms of my work and my time with my family. So there's like 5 or 6 things that are happening every time I put on my bike, and my bike helmet and go out for a ride. So that's not going anywhere, right? That's a very strong multiplication factor action. So you've got those. Separate them out, all right? Just cross them out. Put a separate list. Have them there. You're not touching those. Now I want you to go through the list, and I want you to look at things that are lower multiplication factor ones, all right? So, for example, if I'm on the phone and making a particular kind of business deal, if it's a short-term deal, then what I'm talking about is probably an immediate improvement in my bank account, as well as maybe another longer term thing, right? A new relationship can pay off in multiple ways like that. So look for all these. I call them 2x tasks. So these are things that are somewhat regular in your life. You're doing them on a recurring basis, but they need your stamp because to succeed at them might pay off in another way, and it might give you some soft benefits. Another example of that, by the way, is blogging. Because blogging, you could be using it, number one, to get some attention or get some traction for your LinkedIn profile, but it has a secondary benefit in that it's an evergreen piece of content that's branded for you so that anyone who comes to see you, anyone that you interact with years from now, has access to that, right? And has access to this thing that deepens their connection with you and deepens their esteem for you. So that's at least a 2x factor action that you have. So now separate these up. Now, what are you left with? You are going to be left with, and I'm not a mind reader, I'm just calling it from my own experience and my work with clients, you're going to be left with a whole gaggle full of activities that are 1x. These are the shaving activities. Things like mowing the lawn, paying the bills, vacuuming, cleaning, all of the drudgery, all of the grunt work. And there's going to be stuff in your professional life as well that are like that. Things that don't require your depth of mental acuity and they don't require your talents, okay? Anyone can do it. Or you could easily just teach someone how to do it. These are what you want to focus on. Because the time that you do not have on developing your career and advancing your job search are going to be found in these 1x tasks. I want to ask you something, and this is something I came across this recently in this wonderful article I read, and it says that an entrepreneur or an executive should never mow their own lawn. And not because they're jerks or that they think that they're better than each other. They shouldn't do it because it's not a good use of their time. They shouldn't do it because that hour that they spend mowing the lawn, if they spend it in their wheelhouse, they're going to get back 10, 15, 20 times that investment of time. So for all of the 1x tasks, what you need to do, and what I challenge you to do, is in the next couple of days, take one of those tasks and delegate it. You can use a whole bunch of resources for it. I will include a link in this video to where you can get my little tip sheet about this. But really quickly, here's a couple. TaskRabbit, this is a website. Upwork, Fiverr, that's where for $5 or a little bit more, you can offload any number of drudgery things. TaskRabbit is all about daily errands and things like that. Upwork. And here's another one. Chances are where you live, every week you're going to get something like a penny saver. It's going to come in the mail. And you're not going to believe this, but I love and I look forward to getting that in the mail every single week because I will go through it and I will circle handymen and landscapers and asphalt and paving experts and people who can do all of these things now and in the future. So I have a Rolodex going of all the household stuff because household stuff is easy. It's easy to delegate that stuff. You could do that by placing 1 or 2 calls right now. You can do it in the next 10 or 15 minutes. And now, boom, you do that. You've immediately got back an hour, 2 hours in your week, 3 hours in your week. And if you think that doesn't sound like much, if you can take that 3 hours and use it constructively for your career, you are going to be hired way faster than the competition, and you're going to be doing it in a much better state of mind. The trick, though, is this. Once you delegate something, when that person comes to do the activity, you need to use that time on your career. That time is about nothing else, okay? Because it's like found money, you know? If you don't already know exactly where that found money is going to go, you don't have a plan for it, a name for it, it's just going to disappear. So don't go through all the trouble of delegating things if you're not going to use those exact time periods. You know, the period that you would be mowing that lawn and cursing your life, okay? Somebody else is doing that now. In that period right there, pull up the computer, grab the phone, and do the things that you said that you were going to do. If you do that, this is going to have a life-changing impact on your life. And what I'm saying here, and what my ultimate point is, the problem isn't that you don't have enough time. That's not the problem. You have enough time. The problem is that you're not accurately valuing what an hour of your time is worth. And when you do low-level stuff, you are devaluing your time. And I want you to start offloading as much of those 1x low-level tasks as you can right now. Start offloading them. It is easy once you get in the hang of it, and it is gloriously wonderful not to do these things, okay? I do not miss not having to do some of those things. I promise you that. Unfortunately, I still have to shave, but once they have a robot that can figure that out, I promise you I'm going to be delegating that too. So, I hope that this has been helpful. Replay this video, grab the tip sheet, do what you got to do, start offloading those 1x tasks, start spending more time on using that found time for your career, and start working up the chain. You know, start valuing the things that you do and what makes you you, and winnowing down that focus, because that's the key to really making rapid career progress. Thank you guys very, very much. I will be in touch soon, and thanks for learning with me. If you like that video, I encourage you to hit subscribe to get other expert tips and strategies that will take your career further.